Hello and thank you for watching Erin and Drew's movie reviews. We're reviewing something. Movies. Yeah, that's what we do here. We review movies. My name is Drew.
My name is Erin.
Yeah. Well, easily.
Well, today we were doing a mummy review,
Yeah.
so yes.
Off camera, I said something that I was trying to say gazebo, but I said placebo. You know, gazebo, placebo, gazebo. Let's call the whole thing off. Yeah. It's an old song. Kind of like me. I'm old.
You're an old song? Yes.
I'm an old song and a Bruce Springsteen lyric. But anyway, the movie we're talking about today is The Mummy. And as you probably can see from the poster art here, this is the 1999 movie. I had to clarify that because I didn't want to watch the wrong movie.
The other one does not exist.
Which other one?
Well, the sequels were fine. The reimagining for the Dark Universe does not exist.
That's right. Now, that's another thing we kind of talked about off camera. I mentioned something a little off topic, not really, but the Alex Kurtzman who directed that Mummy movie is also in charge of Star Trek Discovery.
That's where the connection was.
Yeah.
See, that went right over my head.
Yeah.
That
Aren't you glad I'm here
exist.
to point these things out?
It doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, yeah, that movie got terrible reviews, and he directed that movie.
It makes sense.
And so it kind of makes sense as to why the Star Trek franchise is in horrible hands for the next 5 years. So anyway, it's kind of like a Hollywood thing. You just fail upwards. Is that more? There's more than one example of that, right?
Failing upwards?
Yeah.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
Can I think of any off the top of my head? No.
Oh, they're out there.
They're out there.
Yeah. Just
I
ask
just can't.
Kevin Smith. Not him personally. He has a story about someone else who's failed upwards. But
I
that's
was gonna say Kevin Smith.
no.
Talk bad about
I don't
him.
mean that. I mean I don't think
his most recent movies, meh, but
Hey, he's got a Clerks 3 coming, supposedly. That I'm actually excited about because I thought Clerks 2 was okay.
yeah.
So Clerks 3, I'm open to it. Apparently, he's on the poop list for He-Man these days, which I haven't seen, but the animated He-Man, yeah. Supposedly, it's. Let's just get this out of the way right now. Nerds like to complain.
Yes.
About even if it's good, they still complain.
Yes.
I know because I have done that before, but.
We've done it here.
We do it here.
Nerds.
As I'm sure I will probably do about this film.
Don't complain about the Mummy.
Well, I'm not going to be harsh, but it's
as long as you're not harsh.
Yeah, but I wanted to clarify that you were talking about the Tom Cruise Mummy. Well, the thing that doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, Voldemort. That guy doesn't exist. That will not be named. But there's also there are sequels to this particular Mummy film. There was The Mummy Returns.
Mummy Returns, which was okay.
And then there's Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
Yeah, that one.
But there are also other.
You get rid of Rachel Weisz, and you don't no longer exist in the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a good reason to watch this movie, I think.
I liked her in this.
Yeah.
She's great.
But but they're also Mummy movies going back, specifically titled The Mummy, going back to like the 30s.
Oh yeah.
With I think Boris Karloff. I don't know if Lugosi was in that with him or not.
I think they. I mean, there was so much interplay between all of the movies then that there had to have been a Dracula versus the Mummy.
Yeah, but when they mentioned that they wanted to do this movie that doesn't exist, I was actually kind of excited because in the 30s, that was like your original cinematic universe to have like monsters interacting and being each other. And then you were throw in like Abbott and Costello meet the Wolfman.
Yeah.
It gets a little silly, but it's kind of fun.
If they kept it silly like that, it would have been fine. But no, they wanted to go dark and gritty.
Yeah, that's never the answer.
Just ask DC. It's never the answer.
Unless maybe you're Batman.
No.
No, not like Dark Batman.
No, I like Adam West Batman.
I like Adam West Batman. I mean, silly as all get out.
Sometimes there's just no place to put a bomb.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just sometimes silly Batman's good, I think.
I love silly Batman.
Silly Batman.
We need more
silly
silly Batman.
You know what? I have that entire series on Blu-ray sitting on my shelf. I've only watched like 3 episodes of it so far. And I've had it for like 2 years.
I think I've really only seen the movie.
Yeah.
But it's great.
But some of those, it's kind of like, wow, we're really getting off the boat rails here, but
We'll talk about the movie eventually.
yeah, it's kind of like the plots don't change, but the villains and the schemes do, if that makes any sense. That's kind of basically what Batman is, but
Yeah.
the TV show.
Yeah.
But
Nobody cares about Batman. You just care about his villains.
Yeah,
I have said this a lot.
yeah.
Maybe not here, but elsewhere in the world. You don't care about Batman, you care about his villains. That's the main difference between DC and Marvel.
Stand by to catch him, Robin. I'll give him the bat gas. I just, I kind of put him up there with like Shatner in like terms of like delivery on things. They're they could have been separated at birth. They really could have. It's just incredible. But oh yeah, the Mummy.
The Mummy.
Yeah, and there's that original cinematic universe Mummy with Universal, and then in 1959 there was the Hammer version with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing.
Okay.
And then I don't know if there were any between that one and this one. There probably was,
Maybe, possibly.
not like, I mean, there's ones with mummies in the title, but not the Mummy that I think, because I know Hammer made a few Mummy movies like Curse of the Mummy's Tomb and all this other stuff. And, but yeah, so mummies.
Mummies.
Yeah. So, yeah, I kind of have not really a bone to pick with this movie, but I kind of saw this begrudgingly.
Why?
Because, well, this came out in the
You
summer.
have a problem with Brendan Fraser.
No,
Okay, good.
not specifically. But this came out in the summer of 1999. And also about 3 weeks before another movie came out called Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, me and a couple other friends of mine went to go tickets to see The Phantom Menace. They were out of tickets to see The Phantom Menace.
Okay.
It was sold out. But they had tickets
The Mummy?
for The Mummy. So we saw The Mummy. So I was kind of like, I'd rather be watching Star Wars. You know, that.
Yeah, but now, would you rather watch The Phantom Menace over Mummy? Honestly?
Probably not. Because
You saved yourself.
Yeah. But at the
Unknowingly.
time, it was like a huge buzzkill. Like, I want to be seeing a Star Wars movie. I don't want to be watching this Mummy movie. But it's, well, we'll get into it here with the movie. But yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. This was Erin's pick.
This is my pick.
Yeah, so I'm kind of gonna let her kind of lead more of the discussion on this one.
What do you want me to discuss?
I don't know.
I like this movie.
Yeah.
I like this movie
It
a
starts
lot.
out, well, there's kind of, you get like all the kind of the backstory, well, of like the mummy that eventually shows up in the movie. It's Imhotep.
Emotep.
Imhotep.
Emotep.
He was like sneaking around behind the back of the pharaoh. Was it the pharaoh?
He was messing around with the queen? Was she
I
the
thought it was
queen?
his,
Or his daughter?
yeah.
Maybe both. It was ancient times.
Either way, a scantily clad.
Yeah, a very scantily clad lady. And Imhotep was one of the higher priests, and he wanted immortality, as you did, I guess. And the pharaoh was like, no, you're bad, and we will banish you and have you eaten alive by scarabs and mummify you and while you're still alive. And then he placed a curse on everybody. And then the 20s happened.
The 20s. The roaring 20s, by the way.
Roaring 20s.
Although I don't really pick up on that because none of it takes place in America, so you don't really get that. The rolling 20s doesn't really roll off on anybody, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's more the 20s of England.
Yeah, it's like they're still kind of in British Empire mode, sort of.
Just
I guess I don't I'm
Post-Edwardian.
not a historian, so I guess I don't technically know when the actual end of the British Empire is. Because they still had like land in like India and all that kind of stuff, didn't
I
they?
feel it was sometime during Queen Victoria.
Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, we're not historians, just nerds.
Yeah. About things that don't matter whatsoever. Given the current state of the world. But we need distraction because I can't keep focusing on negative things. So that's why I do this. But anyway, yeah, so you get the back roll of him, and then you cut to Brendan Fraser, who I'm not really clear on his. So he was like a member of. There's the French. Appears like he's fighting with the French Foreign Legion. Is that correct?
I think so. That sounds right.
Yeah, but then he's kind of like almost a deserter, isn't he?
Yeah,
he kind of runs. They're in this conflict with. I forget what they're called, but they're kind of like the ones protecting the area where all the mummies are, sort of, because it's like sacred property, and like because you're foreigners, you gotta skedaddle,
Yeah.
right? And they kind of like no, and then he sees he's outflanked, him and his cowardly friend who what's his name, Benny?
Benny.
Yeah.
Benny.
Yeah, Benny.
Best character. He's not. He kind of is.
Well,
He's a little bit of the best character.
He's a little bit of
He's such a weasel.
He's in need of a spine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
He's really just there for. He's a natural born lackey. Mm-hmm. Very much.
Oh yeah,
so.
he'll turn on a dime if you
grovel to anybody.
If you just give him
and
the
everybody.
right things. Yeah. But yeah, Brendan Fraser saw like he was hopelessly outnumbered and basically desserts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or cheesecakes or cookies or just some other kind of dessert. And then you cut to this library. Is it a library or study or something? And then there's Rachel Weisz, and she knocks over a bunch of bookshelves.
Like all of the bookshelves. Don't put your bookshelves that close together.
No, who does that? Or better yet, who designs them that they're that
easily toppable?
Flimsy.
Who made these dominoes? And
Yeah,
put
because it's just basically a domino where like it just goes around this room and knocks down, and I don't know if that was. I'm guessing that was a practical effect, not computer.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would waste computer effects on something like that, but
I mean,
that had to have been like hard to set up. I mean, because if
yeah.
you miss it once, you got to set all that up back up again. So
multiple takes, many cameras.
yeah, when she finds this. Her brother? So her and her brother are kind of like are they a team?
Kind of.
Or she's just
She's basically just a librarian. She likes knowledge. Yay, knowledge and stuff like that. Her brother is a bit of a scoundrel, but he also likes shiny things. And is he in league with the Americans to start with?
I don't know what his deal is. Honest with you. But they find like something. He is like kind of playing practical jokes and like hiding in the coffins, like blah, scaring you. Oh, it's so very funny. But then she finds this, I don't know, like a note in something.
Ancient Egyptian?
Well, no, I mean like wasn't it hidden in like a a puzzle box or something?
Yeah. She opened up a puzzle box and there was a note and had the coordinates for. Treasure
or something
or someone
or someone or
who knows?
Thing but she needs help. I forget how she gets connected to Brendan Fraser because he gets caught because for deserting. I'm guessing it's for deserting the army.
And they're gonna hang him. And then he gets saved,
but they find out that he has knowledge of some sort, and they find him and, hey, you brought an American to the prison. What's his deal? And all this. And she offered, I don't remember, how much money was it? 200 pounds?
Something like that.
To like set him free. Supposedly, I guess I was doing a little bit of homework on this. I didn't do a whole lot, but Brendan Fraser almost died making this movie.
Yeah.
In that stunt in particular because he wasn't supposed to. I don't think he was supposed to drop at all, was he? Through the gallows?
I don't think so. Like his safety harness, I think, didn't go like it was supposed to, and like he actually passed out from hanging, and they had to resuscitate him. And scary.
So there might be a reason why you don't see him act as much anymore. Because that could really mess you up. Because that you don't hear about that as much, but that stuntmen and people like that, they do a lot.
They do a lot.
Yeah, especially. Well, before this time, because you're not going to put your star in jeopardy most of the time, but unless you're Tom Cruise, but that's a whole other story.
He kind of wants to.
Yeah, he kind of wants to.
He just
die.
wants to. Yeah, what is up with that?
I don't know. I can jump off Oprah's couch. I can do anything. That's his MO. And so, well, they managed to free him. His name's Rick.
Rick O'Connell.
O'Connell. I was going to say Mick Connell, but it's O'Connell.
Rick O'Connell.
They're both Irish, I think. Mick Connell, O'Connell. Yeah, O'Connell's whiskey, laddie. Yeah, sounds good.
No. No, stop.
But they, and then they set off for, I don't know, where the Fertile Crescent or whatever they call it. Wherever the thing on the paper is. I forget that minor detail. But there's a lot of, apparently a lot of parties interested in this.
Well, it is a much sought after treasure that nobody has found. These temples.
But all of these people seem to have an inkling as to where everything is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, everybody kind of knows where it's at, but nobody really wants to share their information because nobody wants to be the last one to the temple.
And Brendan Fraser, on his cowardly act, kind of figured out where all this stuff was. Because he's like, oh, yeah, I've been there, that kind of thing. So, but apparently, and then there's a separate group of Americans that he's not connected to. Well, he's American, and like the other two that are with him are British. Or three. There's four. Well, no, there's two British. The sister and the brother are British. He's American, and then they had a guide for a while who was Egyptian, I think. Yes?
Yes.
And then he got like alienified.
Scarabed?
Where he got scarabed. I like that verb better, scarabed.
He got scarabed.
Yeah, where the scarab kind of... It does the opposite of alien. The alien comes out of the body. The scarab goes into the body.
It somehow ranks right up there on my creepy crawly bug meter, and it's just no, thank you.
And it's bug meters is about here.
It's like spiders max it out.
Spiders are up here.
Scarabs are like second.
Scarabs, okay.
And then centipedes.
Yeah, scarabs are kind of creepy. I gotta say though, I wasn't a big fan of the scarabs. I mean, I like them as a movie device. I didn't like the CGI scarab.
Yeah.
At least not like
99 CGI.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like when there's 100 of them and they're all kind of moving in unison towards one thing, I kind of didn't buy that. But like the under the skin stuff, I thought was really good. That was enough to give me the creeps. Let's put it that way. But
gross.
yeah, and so that happens to guide. Did he have a name? The guide? I don't even know.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, but
Remember what it was?
I just remember he got like scarabed. Yes, that's the new word, scarabed. And then there's the group of Americans, and they kind of literally run into each other inside this, I guess it's a tomb.
Yep.
And then they come around the corner with guns pointing at each other's faces and like, we were here first. No, we were here first. No, we were here first.
But do you have a flag? That's really the next part of that.
Yes. And then, of course, the guys who were in the conflict in the beginning, they show up again because, hey, you were on our land and all this.
Yeah.
Because we've been watching this for thousands of years. You know, he's all spooky about how he talks. And anyway.
And then they wake a mummy.
Yeah, they did he what? Read from the book?
Yeah.
Which are...
Don't read from ancient books in ancient tombs. Just in general.
No.
If you find an ancient book in a language that you know but apparently nobody else does, don't read it out loud.
No.
That's it.
Klaatu Barada Nikto. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a different movie. where the dead comes to life.
Those dead and their evilness.
You miserable bag of bones.
Gosh, have we done those movies yet?
Not yet.
We need to do those movies.
Yeah, maybe we should. I think I enjoyed them more than this movie. So, but not nobody's perfect. But then there's this like big, I don't know what you'd call it. There's a lot of back and they're in the middle of the action, then they kind of leave, then they kind of go back to the action, then they leave again, and then Imhotep kind of slowly. What's the opposite of decompose?
Recompose?
Yeah, he's recomposing because he's basically just a cadaver.
Materializing?
He's like a whatever you hang in the meat locker, you know, to like where you're making jerky. Mm-hmm. He's kind of like
a side of beef.
Yeah, he's literally walking beef jerky, and he's like missing
Gross.
part of his face. Like,
Yep.
and then he slowly
So-
starts getting his skin back, and then he comes to look like what he used
All of
to.
the people stole one of his jars,
Yeah.
and then when he kills a person, he takes their whatever was in the jar from them. So like one guy loses his eyeballs.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And his tongue.
Oh, and his tongue.
And his tongue.
And
yeah.
his tongue, yeah. And so yeah, he starts stealing the body parts from everybody else, which is creepy. But yeah, and he slowly reconstitutes himself.
Yeah. So it was interesting to see that process kind of.
And then becomes generic bald bad guy.
Yeah. Then he just kind of becomes a Bond villain.
Yeah.
Like the 1920s version of a Bond villain, whatever that would be. I don't know if Bond started in the 60s. Well, the 50s, really, because that was written in the 50s. But, yeah. And then they figure out how to, well, then there's action. It's hard to explain what goes on because it's all, not bad action, but it's nonsensical in the sense it doesn't really further the plot much. Did that make sense? Mm-hmm. You know, because there's... Rick is getting chased by cadavers through this tunnel. Now he's going through this tunnel. Then he pairs up with the guy from the Protector or whatever. And then they run through another tunnel. And then this guy dies.
Scooby-Doo action.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo is kind of like...
It's an action montage to further runtime.
Yeah, I think so. But then Rachel Weisz, or was it Evelyn? Is that her
Evelyn,
character?
yep.
Yeah, Evie Evelyn. She gets kidnapped. And she's supposed to become Imhotep's next. She's like supposed to be the surrogate of his
Anaxuna Moon.
Of the girlfriend that got whatever back in the day. Yeah, and so they find her, of course, and they prevent the transference.
Yeah.
I guess we would call that.
Yeah.
Because there's a similar sequence in I think it was the X-Men Apocalypse, where he's trying to like transfer out of another body or something. He's trying to take over Professor Xavier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he can't. I don't remember why. Because of his mental. He wants to channel his like powers through him.
Yes.
Is this making sense when I do this with my hands?
Strangely, yes.
Yeah. Well, you see.
But I can't put it into words either.
See, when I can't know words, I do make signs.
It's like He does this.
He does this. That kind of thing.
You want me to steal second base?
What do you mean? Oh,
like
the
baseball
signs. Yeah.
Come on.
That's right.
Boom.
I think that's what they do in Major League, don't they? They just kind of
Yeah, I think so.
that kind of thing. But yeah, they save her from this transference, and then her goofy brother reads the spell that basically takes away Imhotep's immortality, which is what he wanted. They couldn't figure out why he was still there. Why didn't they take him with him? Oh, he's mortal now. Okay. Shish kebab. Which I was kind of thought maybe he'd have a little bit more of a spectacular demise for being a pharaoh, but well. I will say that little sandstorm he cooked up before, though, was actually pretty cool looking. With his face, he's kind of like trying to swallow the plane and bleh, all that. So, yeah, that's. And then Benny meets an untimely demise.
Yeah, poor Benny.
In the dark.
Yeah.
See, I thought maybe they would just leave him.
He gets scared.
Yeah, he got mega scared.
Mega scared. Poor Benny.
Yeah, but I thought maybe it would have
Kind
been.
of deserved it. Okay,
just to be stuck in that room for years without. Well, he probably wouldn't last that long. But,
like, you have all this gold, but no food or water.
But you can't get out, and you can't see anything because you're torched.
Yeah.
But scarab it is.
It's like, no, scarab is like much more humane way to go.
I guess so. But yeah, that's pretty much the Mummy. I don't know. Did I miss anything important?
I don't think so.
No.
They went through a couple plagues.
Yeah, there was.
Like locusts.
Was that from the book also? they read something and then the locusts show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, that is The Mummy. So I guess it's time to rate this. Erin, what grade do you give The Mummy?
I'm gonna give this movie an A-, because
Wow.
I still really enjoy this movie. It's fun. It's good. It's a good popcorn movie. Really, like you just sit, turn your brain off, eat popcorn. It's a perfect theater movie.
Yeah, it kind of is. There's not a lot of. Well, there kind of depends on. There's a lot there to dig through if you want, but I don't think you have to.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, because of that, I didn't love this movie, but it's okay. I will say I'd probably rather watch this than Fast and Furious 11
Whatever number they're on.
or whatever number they're on. So, which isn't saying a lot, but I'm gonna give this a C plus. It's not. It's a little better than a
Average?
C. It's not a B,
Better
but
than
it's not
average.
like C. It's like a C plus.
Passing grade.
It's, I didn't give it a D or an F, so
That is true.
I have yet to be, in full disclosure, I have yet to rate anything as an F on here. Although there's a couple that came pretty darn close. Where'd you go, Bernadette? Anybody? I hated that damn movie.
I know you did.
No, that was.
I didn't. I liked that movie.
Oh, I did not like that movie at all. But anyway, I guess that's the movie. So until next time, I am Drew,
I'm Erin.
and we'll mummy you later.
Cable television is the swellest thing they got.